Oh 07 everybody, happy patch day. It's what is it, danger zone? Um I've got a bunch of vehicles unlocked, and one of the ones that I'm really maybe most excited for, it's not the F-14 surprisingly enough, is actually the HMS Hood. We're gonna do a playthrough review. I've got some excerpts from Wikipedia just to give you guys who aren't familiar with the HMS Hood just a quick rundown of who she was, what she did, what she's known for. I've got War Thunder booting up here in the background. But without further ado, let me go ahead and get into a brief history of the Hood. This is again from Wikipedia, I'm just reading off of that. So, HMS Hood, pennant number 51, was a battle cruiser of the Royal Navy. Hood was the first of the planned 4 Admiral-class battle cruisers built during the First World War. Already under construction when the Battle of Jutland occurred in mid-1916, that battle revealed serious flaws in her design despite drastic revisions before she was completed 4 years later. For this reason, she was the only ship of her class to be completed, as the Admiralty decided it would be better to start with a clean design on succeeding battle cruisers, leading to the never-built G3 class. Despite the appearance of newer and more modern ships, Hood remained the largest warship of the world for 20 years after her commissioning, and her prestige was reflected in her nickname, the Mighty Hood. In May 1941, Hood and the battleship Prince of Wales were ordered to intercept the German battleship Bismarck and the heavy cruiser Prince Eugen, which were en route to the Atlantic, where they would attack convoys. On 24 May 1941, early in the Battle of Denmark Strait, Hood was struck by several German shells, exploded, and sank within 3 minutes, with the loss of all but 3 of her crew of 1,418. Due to her publicly perceived invincibility, the loss affected British morale. The Royal Navy conducted 2 inquiries into the reasons for the ship's quick demise. The first, held soon after the ship's loss, concluded that Hood's aft magazine had exploded after one of Bismarck's shells penetrated the ship's armor. So, we finally got HMS Hood into the game. Let me see, I've got Eugen, I've got Hood. Now I'm just waiting for Prince of Wales and Bismarck. And then I'm hoping to get a couple of you guys together with me so we can nerd out and maybe try to recreate that and get some swordfish and go after the Bismarck and do the whole thing. But for those of you guys who are not aware, I'm actually a really big fan of naval. It's my second favorite game mode beside air simulation. It pretty much goes air simulation, naval arcade, ground simulation, ground RB, ground arcade. Those are like my rankings from most favorite to least favorite. Let me see. We've got the game booting up. I've already gone through and taken care of all the patching and everything. Hold on, I just gotta take a quick little look at this. There we go. Boop. Let me make sure that the War Thunder scene is working right. Looks like it is. We're also gonna check out that camera real quick. This camera can be disabled. Boop. Alright, so let's get right into it. Over here on Great Britain, we've got the HMS Hood. We're going to go ahead and put her on crew. 280,000 silver lions to train it up. And of course, I don't go anywhere without experting 990,000 silver lions to expert this girl out. But it's worth every penny, just with how many +3s you get put on there. So that's expensive. But I'm definitely planning. Now, UK is one of my least favorite nations when it comes to naval. It's the nation that I actually started playing with first. Before I played any other nation in naval, I got the... oh, hold on. Where is my thing? Huh. Did they... Oh. They put them in a different category. Neat. It used to be under special. So I actually paid for the closed beta testing or open beta testing. I don't know. I paid for I paid for the initial package of British, Navy, so that I could play it early on. Why is it rotating all weird? That's strange. Decals on naval ships are so strange. They're so temperamental. So So I have been playing the British Naval Forces since Naval came out, and British naval forces are the second worst of all the naval forces, simply because they just can't really compete in any one category that's important. Now, the HMS Hood is going to help that. I feel like the HMS Hood combined with the Marlborough are actually pretty decent, battleships. But the British really suffer in the coastal category, in the air category, in the torpedo category. Their destroyers are not up to snuff. Their light cruisers leave a lot to be desired. Their heavy cruisers are actually not half bad, but they're very slow. They're very cumbersome, and they definitely aren't standouts by any stretch of the imagination. And right now, the Scharnhorst and the Hyuga are just going to pretty much poop on everything. I imagine that's probably going to be the case with the HMS Hood as well, but I'm just excited that it's here. I don't really know a whole lot about the Hood, and I've heard a lot about it, but I've never really quite seen it in anything other than like Navy field back in the day. So the first thing that I kind of want to look at is this armor profile, because this is apparently like the the big weakness here. And the belt down here at the waterline, 304 millimeters, that's pretty solid. The turrets are very well protected. We've got 31 millimeters of deck armor up here, and out here in the belt area, 127 and 177. So there's really decent protection all along here in amidships. And I love the turret design. I love the symmetry. I love the quad. No, hold on. These aren't even. I'm loving that AA configuration, but these are 40 pounder. No, 40 millimeter. How many barrels are on this thing? It's quad, I think. Or is it more? No, it's more than that. And there's like 5 guns in there. It's hard to say. It doesn't really tell me. It says ×4. Why am I feeling like I see 5? Maybe it's just a trick of the camera. Yeah, okay. I think that's just 4. I'm not quite sure what in the hell these things are supposed to be. They look like maybe hedgehog launchers, like some sort of like depth charged thing. The smoke screen generator. I'm not quite sure, but it's listed as auxiliary caliber. Let me see. It's got some torpedo stowage. It's got some fixed torpedo tubes coming right out the side, so you're not going to get any sort of like aiming. The secondary. Now, I really am not a big fan of these open mount 4-inch guns. These are basically what all the British destroyers have, and these things are terrible. I don't like them. They don't really hit hard. They don't really reload fast. They're not very accurate. They don't have spectacular muzzle velocity or anything like that. It just leaves a lot to be desired. But we got a bunch of them, so that's nice. I love the shape of the funnel up here. Again, I just love the symmetry of the ship. It is very intimidating looking. I mean, it looks like it would give the Scharnhorst a run for its money, but I don't think that's going to ring true. And when we come in here and we check out the X-ray footage, check out this forward magazine. How well protected these magazines are. Below the waterline, flanked by fuel tanks, which is, it might sound counterintuitive, but that's very good. If the fuel tanks are punctured, everything in there is going to get flooded, and liquid fuel's not going to burn. Only the fumes will, and like all the shells will get, completely flooded out by the fuel and completely protect it from, flames. Back here, there's nothing. It's just open. Look at this. Look at this rear magazine. All these shells just stacked up in, in a huge area. Massive area up there, and really you're just hoping nobody gets anything. If a shell lands anywhere in this area and gets through 50 millimeters of deck armor, if it comes in high enough angle and gets through 50 millimeters, which is like nothing, and it gets down in here, this whole area is screwed. There's like 2 tiny little baby fuel tanks out there that might give you a little bit of protection, but that's about it. A torpedo back here would be devastating. Up here, so I think with the Hood, it's mostly going to be about hiding your rear end, and you might have to just sacrifice the firepower on these 2 rear batteries. in order to try to bow tank as much as you possibly can. This thing has some really nice sharp angles from the front, and it just looks really imposing up here. And just look how nice like the bridge armor is. Look, 254 millimeters, 279 millimeters of bridge armor up there. The guns are very well protected. And the super firing mounts here, it looks like you can basically charge straight at your enemy and hit them with both weapons, even at very close range, which is not super common for a lot of these super firing turrets. Sometimes they are super firing, but because of like the rangefinders up here, these guns, you know, they can't get down enough. There's just not enough gun depression for them to engage. And so while the front turret is able to hit, that second turret kind of goes over your target over and over again. So anyway, let's take her out into a game and let's see how she does. That'll be the true test. So we'll just go ahead up in queue and get my whiskey filled up. This is going to be my first match in the HMS Hood. You guys saw here, I just crewed it up. I just experted it out. I'm not even going to take it to a test mission or anything like that. We're just going to toss it into a game, and I hope that I get a nice battleship game. Something that's going to be good for a battleship, but I'm going to spawn it in no matter what. Which kind of goes against a lot of the advice that I give you guys. Like, for example, if it's a 3-point capture map, I will hound everyone and say, spawn coastal, spawn something small and something fast and get in there and take a point. Like, that's the most important thing. You have 3 lives, and your first life should be doing that. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to follow my own advice and, oh, perfect, it doesn't matter, it's a moot point, we got ourselves a big open battle cap map, so that's going to be actually perfect for the Hood. Let's check out the ammunition. First of all, torpedoes, that's all we got. It's just, let me see, semi-armored piercing capped ballistic capped shells. We got 487 millimeters of penetration, and explosive mass is 58 kilograms. And then we got the armored piercing ballistic cap shell. It's got 644 millimeters of penetration with 20 kilograms. So let's check out the anti-aircraft armament. We're gonna switch this around. We're gonna go ahead and bring none of those, just a few hundred of these, and most of these are gonna be time fused. That's what the AI is gonna be firing predominantly. Let's go ahead and take the Hood into battle. And let's see how she goes. Hold on a second. The game is yelling at me. I don't think I got my... Hold on. Turret rotation. Definitely slow, leaving something to be desired there. Speed's not too bad. 36 knots. She's fast. I mean, I'm about ready to pass this Portland over here. We got a little bit of congestion in this area. Man, the camera rotation speed is quite fun. This is my first game since the patch. And I've been hearing some complaints about this. When you hold C, yeah, man, that rotation's not nearly as fluid as it used to be. It's like twice the acceleration. Let's go ahead and see if we can target who's getting the closest to the point. Let's go ahead and hit this guy. That looks like it could be a Zelensnikov. Oh man, man, I'm like too fast for my own good. Guys, hold on. I'm gonna have to stop. I know the Nuremberg's not fast, but I'm passing her like she's standing still. Look at the water washing over my decks. This thing's got a whole heck of a lot of, I don't know if that's just the graphics being weird, or if I'm just riding low in the water, or what's going on, but... Dude, the Nuremberg has, like, stopped. Dude, what are you doing? Get in the point. Get out of my way, bro. What are you doing? Who are you shooting at? Why are you shooting your freaking tertiaries at a battleship? Embarrassing. Alright, we got this light cruiser targeted here. We finally got behind the Nuremberg. Okay, we just tanked our first hit from that battleship. Right on the bow, just as intended. The only thing I'm really worried about is this battleship over here, who seems to be looking at me, which is not ideal. Man, those sounds are nice. That's for freaking sure. We're going to go ahead and see if we can launch a couple of shells over here at this Zelensky. And let's go ahead and check the range on that. He's closing, but not too rapidly. Let's go ahead and just Let's remove about 200 yards from him because he is pretty far. And let's go ahead and give him a salvo like that. Alright, one salvo away. Let's see how she flies. The reload on these guns about 30 seconds. You get about 2 shots a minute. It's not half bad for 16-inch guns. Ooh, man, we just ate big damage on the left side. Oh, what the hell kind of damage thing is that? That's new. We're gonna have to engage this battleship, I think. Yeah, that battleship's engaging us for sure. Alright, hold on. Let's go ahead and get ready to battle tank. We got 2 battleships shooting at us, which is just not ideal. I'm gonna go ahead and go full back. See if we can confuse some of their range. And let's go ahead and... That guy's not moving at all, so let's just go ahead and just get a nice salvo all from stem to stern. Oh, he's already gone. Wow. Alright, next thing, let's see if we can hit this Zelensnyakov again. He's my biggest threat, honestly. He's going to be capping the map pretty hard. He's going to be capping the circle pretty hard. He's one of the only enemies inside the circle. And a lot of people sleep on Zelensnyakovs, and they just leave them alone. Don't do it. You got to kill these things. They're little glass cannons, but man, if you ignore them, they will ruin your day. So let's go ahead and just get them. Oh yeah. Now something's interesting. Oh, my primary and my secondary are all firing here. This is a change that I've been wanting for a long time. All right, we just lost number 3 battery, but we're still bow tanking that guy up front. I think I'm overshooting that Zelensnyakov by quite a bit. There go my secondaries. Now I'm firing my secondaries and my primary. We're going to go ahead and go full reverse again, see if we can confuse that battleship up there. See if we can get a good shot on this Zelensnyakov now. I think I overshot him, so let's remove some distance and hit him again. Alright, now let's build some speed, get nose on that battleship. Taking quite a bit of damage from that guy. Here come my shells. And good hit there. Nice and deep in the engine room there. Took out like a secondary amount of something. This whole new damage display is interesting. I can see that being really useful for these like capital ship engagements, because before it was so zoomed out, you really couldn't tell what you were doing for the most part. I assume that's in response, like direct response to that. Oh, we got a Scharnhorst back here. That Scharnhorst might be a worthwhile target. Let's see if we can. Let's load up some AP for that Scharnhorst. Scharnhorst has a whole lot of fuel. I'm gonna go ahead and get my cannons pointed off on the starboard side as we make a turn to the left here. I'm not sure where my Scharnhorst rounds went, but we really need to address these 2 battleships that are... Wait, there's like 3 battleships over there, and they're all upset with me. There's 4 battleships over there, and they're all upset with me. This might just be a tanking game. Every now and then you get these matches where you're just getting targeted by, you know, superior firepower, and there's not a lot you can do but to try to tank the damage as efficiently as possible. So to that end, we're going to disable the auto repair on the, you know, on the modules. And we're just going to go with fire and water for now, so we can repair those things as quickly as possible. And every time we take a shot from them, we're going to try to expose the side. Damn, they're like firing out of sync too. I might not be able to get very many shots on them. It might just be time to go full bow tanking. Taking hits from every direction. So we're going to go ahead and just surrender the rear turrets like we talked about, and see if we can hit that guy with the front battery. Only. And we'll only repair modules if we lose those front batteries. Looks like I was drifting still a bit, so we're going to miss that shot. That's okay. We're going to go full reverse. We're going to hope these shells land short, like they're starting to do. They're all kind of like just tickling the end of my bow there. We're gonna go full reverse because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. We just lost our #1 turret. We're gonna go ahead and repair that. We're gonna go full reverse. And go ahead and hit him. Just the #2 turret here. 16-inch guns do hurt, but man, I can't wait to get something like the Nelson so I could do this a little bit better, man. Imagine 9 16-inch guns all up front. Oh my gosh, the spread on this is not fantastic either. Now let's see if we can swing our stern out a little bit and hit him with just that rear battery as well. Really got to swing her wide to get that rear battery online, but I'd like to double up my firepower if I can, just on this one guy here. We'll keep bow tanking the rest of these guys. Alright, rear battery's online. Looks like he might have switched targets even. Alright, that's 6 in the air. Pretty good hits there. We kind of got these down. Yeah, looks like we took out one of his ammunition elevators. One of his funnels. Here comes another little follow-up shot. Oop, I turned way too much. Did not mean to turn that much. Alright, we got another good hit on him. Let's go ahead and go full forward now. All ahead. Man, it's tough. It's tough when you got still 1, 2, 3 battleships firing at me, plus a few heavy cruisers as well. Hopefully I helped eat some damage from the team, gave them a little bit of a respite. I'm not sure how much it's going to help. There we go. All right. One shot him. Let's switch to this. What is that? A Hyuga over there? No, that's not a Hyuga. Is that a Hyuga? No, it's missing a turret. What the hell is that? I gotta get more familiar with my battleships. I'm not quite sure what that is. There's only one way to find out. We're gonna shoot him. We're at 8% crew left, so we're gonna go ahead and expose all the rear battery. We can no longer repair the ship. We're just gonna slowly sink here. Rapidly sink. Correction. And the mighty Hood goes down. We went down to a Marlboro. That's what it was. Marlboro. Which is even-tiered ship. Alright. And let me see. What else can we bring in? Let me see. We gotta spade out the York still. Well, hold on a second. Might be able to do it. Might be able to do a little bit of work with this T-Gore here. Might be able to set armor-piercing shots. Just absolutely harass this guy. Oh yeah. That's a whole lot of pew for that man over there. Is there a way to select my primary only? I don't want to fire my secondaries. It looks like I don't have much of a choice. Getting a lot of good AP hits on this guy. Might switch to some high explosive, try to set a few fires. Oh, the secondaries are starting to be effective now. Alright, looks like he's realized who's harassing him and maybe starting to fire at me. Yeah, he's starting to fire rounds at me. Let's go ahead and cut back around the other way. One thing that's nice about the Tiger is the turrets will rotate all the way around any direction. It's a really nice feature that I wish was in a lot more ships, to be honest. We got him all kinds of on fire here. I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to armored piercing. We're gonna go down. Yeah. But that helped return a whole bunch of score to us. And it looks like we got him to move out of the point, which is nice. Now we got the York here. York's probably not my best. We'll actually bring the Kent out. And it looks like we probably should spawn this north side. You know what? I'm gonna go for it again. This is probably inadvisable, but 8-inch guns point blank on this battleship, we might be able to take them down. Let's go ahead and load up semi-armored piercing here. And all the guns are online. Fire a little bit more in front here. Going a little faster than I thought. We're about to start getting range. There we go. Rangefinder confirms what I had already figured out. Oh yeah. These 8-inch guns will do These 8-inch guns will go somewhere. I'm trying to fire about 200 yards short. That's a little too short. Let's go about 150 yards short. Oh yeah. Alright, he's firing at me now. Let's go ahead and turn into those shells. Let's try to bow tank that guy. Just get real skinny on him. Let's go ahead and go off the left side. See who's in the point here. Got a motor torpedo boat. He's down. Got a light cruiser out there, could use a little bit of attention. Looks like I lost my engine, we're gonna have to start repairing that. Alright, the Marlboro just went down. But it was good, I'm hoping that him changing targets multiple times like that and then hitting me helped to accelerate his little demise there. Looks like we got a gun solution on this light cruiser out here. He's closing distance, but not too rapidly. Let's just remove about 100 yards out of him and go ahead and fire all. And flank ahead. Got our engines coming back online. We're going to try to get back inside this circle. It's so frustrating playing this game and watching people sit like a kilometer or two outside the circle, thinking like, oh, if I sit just a little further away, first of all, you're not safe. Like, that extra kilometer is not going to save you from that battleship, and now you're just helping your team lose. When you're in this game mode, your 100% priority should always be being inside the circle. Unless you're killing, like, you know, 7, 8, 9 different ships. Like, if you're able to take a Shimakaze and go outside and kill, like, half the enemy team, okay. That's still one exception. Everybody else, you should be inside the freaking circle. If you're not inside the circle, you're hurting your team. We're taking a whole lot of hits from this battleship on the bow. Man, they brought so many battleships to bear. This York can't stand it. This York's not going to be able to eat another salvo like that. Or the Kent, rather. Hopefully I can do some damage to this. Oh! Yep, not enough crew members now. We didn't quite remove... Oh, he's really closing the speed now. I need to remove even more. There we go. Yeah, we went down slugging. We took a big old bite out of crime off that guy before we went down. But man, we just got battleship to death, dude. I don't even know. Oh, we got the wyvern though. Hold on. We got a wyvern. We've only, with the so many battleships out there, it's probably gonna be best just to bring in some bombs. Now, the priority here is just to look for people that are inside the cap. This guy and this guy, they're gonna be priorities, so that's gonna be this fella here, and this fella right here. This guy does not look, well, they both look like they're taking a good amount of damage. So that battleship, that's what I'm talking about right there. Like, that guy, he may have some good damage, he may have some kills, but he's killing his team, is what he's doing. Both those cruisers that are inside the point have died. I'm looking, this is now the highest threat just off my nose. This battle cruiser's entering the point. That looks like a Scharnhorst. So you see how he's racing into the point as fast as he possibly can? Actually, that looks like it might be a Marlboro. Let's see. The Hood. He's got the Hood. So you see how he's racing into the point? That's what you want to be doing. What that guy's doing, losing. What that guy's doing, winning. So I'm going to ignore, you know, the person who just killed me, and we're going to go for anybody that's inside the point. The more people you have inside the point, the more you capture, and removing the enemies just, you know, makes you capture even faster. So you guys can see up here, we've got a huge chunk taken out of Alpha. A lot of times, these games don't last long enough for you to actually see everyone die. So it's a matter of, like, capture power. And when you have a team that's playing way too cautious and staying way too far behind enemy lines, not getting inside the circle, too afraid to take damage, battleships that want to sit, you know, at maximum effective range and shit like that. 1, 2, 3 bombs. Turn away. Hard turn away. Try to avoid that flak. We got non-penetration on his bow. And some explosions, but I think it was just superficial surface damage there. So we're going to have to dodge his fire a little bit longer, build up a little bit of speed, see if we can come in again. We're going to come in right off the bow. He's got those quad 40 millimeters that we saw. But his anti-aircraft doesn't seem that great. He definitely doesn't have any Ooh, hold on. He's going down hard. He's taking a lot of flooding damage. Let's see if we can finish it. Ooh. That Hood catches my tail. But I think he's going to go down. Not sure if he's pumping enough water out. Looks like he's starting to pump it out. Do we still have map control though? I think I'm done on spawns. I don't think I can spawn again. Yeah, only 38 spawn points. Yeah, we're not going to get anything. But it looks like they've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy's trying to, like, spawn camp or something. I'm pretty sure we're going to have this victory. Just because they don't have enough people getting into the map. Let's go ahead and, give a little quick peek. See that guy over there and that motor torpedo boat, he's trying to help. That's actually a pretty nice strategy. Like, if you bring out your biggest ship first, and then it gets towards the tail end of the game, and it becomes, like, hypercritical that you get into the point, otherwise you're going to, like, assuredly lose. You know, grabbing a motor torpedo boat at that point, and just racing to the edge of the point, and then, like, circling, like, just to give your team one extra person there, because sometimes when it comes down to these final few moments, the kills might not, you know, like, you know, if somebody just brought a battleship in, there's not enough time left in the game to kill that battleship, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're starting to take control of it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, they've got 1, 2, 3, yeah, these two guys just entered the point. See how the scoreboard's looking. Attrition-wise, we're on the bad side of things. We're still taking chunks out of here. They don't quite have map control, so it's gonna be close. If it comes down to kills, this team is probably gonna take it. But if they don't, and that's what I mean, is like this guy right here, if that guy had done all of that, like if he had been 1 kilometer more this way and sailed this way, it'd be a totally different game. Like, just having one extra person outside the circle can make all the difference. So again, we might be losing the attrition, But everybody we have on our team is like steaming full speed into the circle. And they don't have very much points left. And they've got 1, 2, 3. We've got like, come on, get inside. Get inside, you. Yep, he's moving for it. You could see him steaming directly into the circle. We're starting to, come on, once he gets inside. Oh, he's moving southbound. No, don't do it. Move east. Move, there he goes, nice. He's probably doing a little bit of dodging and weaving, but it's going to cancel out. Oof. That's going to be close. Enemy team is starting to have more. It's this guy right here. I need you to get in the line. Go this away. Man, I probably should have played a little bit more cautious and spawned up here instead. Oh, here we go. We just took out that guy. We've got control of the circle now. Now we're capturing. We're taking this little rest of this chunk down. My man right here is just, oh my god, I just want to like, I just want to push him. No, he's moving away. He's like humping the border right there, man. I was like, just make your heading like 10 degrees to the southeast. I think we got it. We just lost one. We still got control of the point. Oh, it might have actually just neutralized out. It might come down to the next kill. This guy, oh, hold on. This guy right here, who is that? Who is that madman right there? Hold on. I think somebody's in a motor torpedo boat. I think it's this guy. Nope, it's not that guy. It's this guy right here. He's sailing full speed, Prince Eugen, taking out the YER, which is, oh no, that YER is coming for him. Take him out. Take him out. There you go. There you go. Well done. Get inside this point. Yes, look, 1, 2, 3 inside the point. They've got 1, 2, maybe a 3. Oh my gosh. Come on, just kill one person. That I thought that aircraft might have even done it. It's so fucking close. Got it. Ooh, down to the wire. Freaking GG. Good game. Good game, guys. Oh man. Mission accomplished. Let's see here. Not too impressed with the Hood. It's hard to say just off of what game. Mostly because, golly, they came out swinging. They were targeting the absolute heck out of me. So it was really tough to, like, you know, get actually any damage down. I did my best to tank as much damage as I could. It was actually tankier than I thought. Considering I was getting engaged by, you know, 4 or 5 battleships almost perpetually from the moment that I spawned in, and for how long that I lasted, how many shells I was able to dodge. This thing's surprisingly maneuverable at 36 knots, and you know, its ability not just to maneuver but also to change speeds. Like when I was throwing it in reverse and being able to come around and go the other way and throwing a lot of those like shells that got fired. Those battleship shells have such a long travel time that if you don't recognize that the enemy has done that, especially when they're bow on, it's tough to tell that they've thrown it in reverse. You don't really see that smoke, you know, starting to shift the other way. You don't have the perspective for it. And if you don't notice in time, you might waste 1 or 2 salvos. That's like a whole minute of non-damage. And by the time you catch up and, you know, you start slamming shells into them again, they've repaired a lot of the modules that you may have injured along the way. I'm not overly impressed with the Hood. Not really a big fan of just that dispersion on the guns, the damage on the 16. I'm not a huge fan of these 16-inch guns, to be honest with you, for most countries. I'd actually prefer something slightly smaller with better reload, just to kind of fit the meta a little bit better, but surprisingly tanky, you know, despite her reputation. So I don't know, it might even be worth grabbing a backup. Let's grab a backup vehicle for her and see if we can take her into one more naval battle. Oh, hold on. I gotta repair my Wyvern. It's like that's the Wyvern's like the one good naval aircraft that you can bring in with the UK. And like the Fairmile is pretty garbage. The Brave Borderer is probably the best coastal boat they've got. It's the fastest thing they got, which at 57 knots, it's basically standing still compared to some of the Russians, like the G5. Um, so when it comes to actually like getting a capture point, um, it's okay to be a little slower. Like something like the PR-206 isn't blazingly fast either, but what it lacks in top speed, it makes up for more so than enough in torpedo range, damage, and gun effectiveness. Whereas the Brave Border has none of those things. It does have 4 torpedoes, all 4 of them suck. It does have, a little 40 millimeter cannon on the front and back, but like that's laughable compared to what some of the other, coastal ships of equal BR are going to be bringing against you. And the speed's just not there. So that being the best ship that you're going to have as far as like coastal options go means that when you play UK, you're going to lose your matches more often than not because like when you play UK and Italy, you can't contribute as meaningfully to the objectives as the other countries can. So you basically were playing UK and you are hoping that you are paired up with other non-UK and Italian players. Like if you are playing UK and you get a bunch of Germans, Russians, and Americans on your team and you see the enemy team has a bunch of UK, you're probably going to win. But the more UK and Italian your team has, the more likely you are to actually just lose the match, especially if it's capture centric. If it's those big circle maps like I just played, that's a little bit more of an equalizer that shifts the onus away from coastal. However, there is still a very there's a very large meta towards aircraft and the ability to spawn an effective aircraft that is able to take out battleships in one go. Something that's dropping 1,800 kilogram bombs, 5,000 kilogram bombs, something that's dropping like multiple torpedoes that are fast and have long range, something that is, let me see, TU2s, the YERs, the DO217s, the JU288s, the AM1s, the what's that Corsair? Oh man, what's that name of that freaking Corsair thing that I got? The BTD. Hold on, what's the name of this thing? The AU1. I thought, okay, AM1 and AU1. This guy right here. Like, look at this thing, man. This thing is bringing in a 2,000, 2 1,000s, and then 6 500s in a maneuverable, like, fighter-style package with 4 20 millimeter cannons. Like, once those bombs are gone, you can go and dogfight the other bombers that are out there and take them out. Versus what I got going on over here, I got 3 little, whatever, 1,000-pound bombs. And, like, the hood that I dropped them on, that hood laughed at me. I put boom, 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 1, 2, 3 right on his bow. And they just skipped on his bow and detonated on his deck and, did superficial damage. They scuffed the paint at best. Versus that AU1, not as fast as the Wyvern, but speed doesn't matter. With naval, it's mostly about maneuverability and maneuverability at speed in a dive. Stuff with speed breaks or stuff that's extremely accurate from altitude. Something like the AU1 where you can come in high, roll over, dive down, pick up a bunch of speed, and while you're speeding down, you can maneuver around. You can flip it over, you can throw in some rudder, you can throw in some ailerons, and you can confuse those anti-aircraft gunners and come down real low and just bomb, bomb, bomb straight down and just have those bombs with some velocity to them, and they just punch right through. Versus the Wyvern where it's fast, but it's not maneuverable. It's a dog. You know what I mean? It's very slow and sluggish. So it's difficult, and the torpedoes on it don't leave a lot to be desired for sure. You know what I mean? So that's where the British and the Italians, frankly, suffered. Is they just don't have a good coastal game and they don't have a good aviation game. They are my least 2 recommended naval countries. A lot of people come to me and they're like, "Hey, I'm starting out with naval, and I want to get the Zara. Zara's a great ship. That's it. You want to get the Sayeda? Sayeda's a great ship. That's like in-game coastal, though. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna go through a lot of pain and suffering to get there, and it's not worth the adventure. All right, first of all, I want to check something real quick with my... I don't want to... I'm glad that I can fire all of my guns. Manual targeting the primary caliber. No, hold on, it's manual targeting. Wait, where's the... Select primary weapon, select secondary... Okay. Is there a way to... Okay, so it's a toggle option. I'm not a huge fan that they did that, but I'm glad that it's enabled. It should be like a... I should be able to press like Alt 1 and get my primary only, and like Alt 4 should be my primary and secondaries combined. I'm glad that I can fire them both together, but... Oh. Hello! Look at these. Look at these tertiaries not doing nothing. Let's see here. We got a battleship. 15,000 yards. And we're getting those rear batteries swung around. Just gonna stop right here. See if we can track his move. He's moving right to left, ever so slowly. Keeping constant range. We're just gonna keep like 20 yards off. Oh, those rear batteries are not quite on yet. Hold on, we gotta throw it in reverse. Swing that back in around just a little bit more. Sorry if I'm cutting you off there, Mr. Marlboro. Marlboro. Alright, here we go. And rear batteries are coming online. Let's go ahead and go full stop. Let that range computer update. There it is. Still distance looks solid, right there. Load up armor piercing. We're at full stop. He's at full stop. Next shot's gonna be...
Thank you very much.
Let's actually load up my follow bullet camera here. Got 16 seconds on the reload. We hit him. He's starting to move now. He's starting to go from right to left. He's gonna be accelerating more and more. So we're gonna anticipate that. Well, I might even wait for the range computer because it's so close. He's moving away from me, so we're going to add a little bit distance. Yeah, well, I was almost spot on. Add a little bit more distance, and fire. 8 16-inch shells in the air. Let's see how they fly. He threw it in a full reverse. Okay, 5 seconds on the reload. Starting to go forward again. We're gonna make the range computers on, and bam! Fire another shot. Take a little sip of whiskey. That's why I love naval, man. Naval's the perfect whiskey sipping game mode. He's got a little bit more acceleration on that Poltava than I would have guessed. Oh, we hit him right there. Got him in the engine. Got him in like the number 3 Ooh! Is he dead? Hold on, his crew just went to like 0%. He's going backwards now. Right there. He's trying his best. He's trying his best to like kind of juke and jive, but I might have overshot just a little bit. Nope. Ooh! Yikes! On a kite, that's gonna be not ideal for him. All right, what's he doing now? Hold on, we're reloaded. He's going this way. We're just gonna fire without the computer. Alright, I'm not as disappointed in the dispersion of these shells at range. Don't know why on that last match they seem to be scattering so much for me. This match... Oh, he threw it backwards. And I overshot. Got a range computer update right there. And bye. It might be time to start maneuvering because I'm afraid torpedoes may be shortly in my future. His armor is eating these shells up. That's why I'm not a huge fan of 16. Like 16-inch still don't really always have the punch that they need. And he's gonna go backwards again. I'm just waiting for it. He's gotta keep going forward. I think he's gonna keep going forward. I think he's had enough. Yep. Cool. There you go. The range computer on this Hood updates very quickly. For a battleship of this era, very quickly. I'm not used to it updating that fast. And I'm not sure if that could be just an overall change with the game. And it might not be Hood specific, it might be all ships now update that fast. But look how fast that circle is cycling through it. It's like almost worthwhile to wait. Oh, we just lost him. Oh yeah, that's Japanese. That looks like a Mogami. And he definitely just launched a bunch of torpedoes at us, and he's fast as the dickens, so we're going to fire over here. And we're going to switch to the semi-armored piercing, and we're going to start moving this bad boy. Yeah, those are torpedoes coming towards me. We're going to start a big old left-hand turn here. You can see his torpedoes coming through. Oh yeah! Man, we shifted his ship in the water. That hurt him badly. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get skinny on these torpedoes. We're going to start swinging our stern turrets off to the starboard side. And I'd like to start dealing with some of these destroyers that are a little bit closer in. So we're switching to the semi-armor piercing. Kind of glad that my secondaries are paired up now. We'll see if we can target this guy. I'm not much of an anti-aircraft platform. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. The UK. So there's quite a few metas, right, that are important. You don't have to be good at all of them, but you need to be good at something. UK's just not really good at anything. Like, their anti-aircraft is not solid. It's just not. Like, their weapon platforms don't have a good volume of fire. They don't have good spread. They don't have good fuses. They don't have good damage, even if they do hit. There's simply not enough turrets. There's not enough volume of fire. And this is why we turned. This is why we got nice and skinny, nice and early. Go right between those torpedoes. And I know I got another set in there coming in somewhere. Here's one of them. Looks like they'll all go off my starboard side there. See if we can hit this destroyer. Alright, Mr. John. Get those rear turrets online. Front guns real quick. A little too far. Here come those torpedoes I was so worried about. We're going to avoid all that. Need to remove a lot of distance from this guy. Hit him with the rear guns. Hit him with them stern boys. Now this is by far and away my least favorite game mode. Oof, we just ripped this whole back end off. This is my least favorite game mode. And this is why. The whole point of this game mode is to sink these 10 enemy ships, and you can literally see them from the spawn. They don't move, they don't evade, they have no intelligence to them. They just sit there and let you. That's it. That's one of the biggest enemy objectives right there in my sights. And here we go. We're just gonna go ahead and boop, 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 boop. We're just gonna go ahead and launch a whole bunch of shells at him. I got the SKR? I didn't even shoot an SKR. Oh, was that the... I thought it was a destroyer. Is that an SKR destroyer? I need to look up the SKR. That guy's just gonna literally sit there and let me dig shells right into him. And that's their heavy cruiser. They've got like one heavy cruiser, like 2 light cruisers, maybe 2 or 3 destroyers, and then the rest I think are cargo ships. Ooh. Oh man. Oh, I just took a... Oh no. Oh no. I just took a big old hit. Let's dump all the ammunition. Let's get moving. Oh no. I took a big hit. I was sitting still for too long. But man, we punished the hell out of that heavy cruiser over there. Which is going to be the hardest thing to kill. Now, if I could switch into my aircraft, I can go and try to kill like a bunch of those cargos. And that's why if you have good anti-aircraft capability, you typically want to stay near your cargo so the enemy aircraft can't come in there and harass you. Oof. I'm gonna have trouble getting out of here. Yeah, looks like we're rolling over. She's flooding. Luckily, this is my most armored part of my ship, but I don't think it's gonna do me much good. Not if I can't fix that flooding damage, which we're working on it, but we got 35 seconds to figure it out. Alright, we're pumping water out. Roll it back over, boys. We should not be seeing propellers out of the water. Roll it back over, boys. Hold on. We need to leave ourselves on fire. Counterintuitively. Right now, the biggest thing that we can do is to get that water out of the ship. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be close. Oh my god, we're getting there. Oh, we did it with 1 second to spare. All right, now let's put the fire out. Okay, let's turn the bow tank now. We got a little bit of propulsion control. Oh my gosh, we're taking so much damage here. I'm going to switch to my tertiary weapons and let those primary batteries just free fire while I worry about steering the ship here. I'm trying to control these damage parties. I'm going to go ahead and throw it into full reverse. Try to give them the side of the armor there. We just bought ourselves so much more time. Alright, and we're starting to go backwards now. We're going to switch the rudder to the other side. Throw that rudder around. Perfect. Now we're going backwards. Just keep sliding that back in. Let's go ahead and start repairing some modules real quick before we take some more big hits. See if we can get some engines back online, because we need them. We need speed right now. And as soon as I get the angle that I want, I'm going to go throw it right back into forward again. Flank ahead, and we'll just charge these enemies. But you could typically kind of change the direction of your ship a little bit faster if you're going backwards. Alright, now we're going to go full forward again, neutralize the rudder. We're going to eat these shells right up front. We're going to sacrifice everything up front. That's where our best armor is anyway. Everything up there is toast. I'm sorry, guys. Now we're just going to go right into the storm. We're just going to go and do my job. My job is to be a tank. Let's go tank stuff. Picking up some speed now. And we got a little bit of stuff. Oh! Finally lost too much to repair. We're going to start going down now. There's nothing I can do about it. Ooh, it's the Kronschnant! This is the next thing that I want to try. I have this thing unlocked too. Alright, let's see if we can bring in the Wyvern. Now I have a... Oh, hold up. That thing needs to be killed. Let's go ahead and... Because this is arcade, let's get rid of our bombs so we can climb a little bit better. Killing aircraft is majorly important. Grab a little bit of altitude while we worry about this Japanese bomber up here. Not the most maneuverable bloke in the world, but he does have quite a bomb load on him. And he can take out quite a few of those little cargo ships, so we want to try to neutralize him as quickly as we can. So I'm just quick climbing up there. Oh, never mind. We're all solid. Now, let's see. That light cruiser right there. Oh, PE-8. Okay, hold on. We might be able to hit the light cruiser and then hit the PE-8. I can grab a little bit of... Oh, I might not be able to do both. I might have to pick one or the other. PE-8's more important. Let's see if we can get him before he gets his bomb gone. Let's go ahead and drop ours. PE-8 sees me coming and he's like, no, please, Mr. Dragon, let me launch my 5,000. This thing can just one-shot anybody he wants. That light cruiser down there is pissed. He's pissed. Alright, he just launched his 5,000 kill. I got some more time now. So we're going to take our time and kind of try to set up on him a little bit better. He launched one bomb. Watch out for that heavy cruiser there. Hold on. I'm about to get our bombs back. That's an American cruiser for sure. 1, 2, 3. Oh, God. Yeah, Baltimore, man. Baltimore's nasty with their anti-aircraft. Hopefully the PE-8 just lost so much altitude trying to avoid me. Did we kill the Baltimore? Yeah, we killed the Baltimore. We killed the Baltimore, and I'm hoping that the PE-8, even though we didn't kill him, that he lost so much altitude evading me that now he's essentially out of the fight. It's not necessarily about taking the bombers out, but if you can bring them down, now he has to go. Yeah, he's like so much lower now. The anti-aircraft is so much more able to hit him. You can see those puffs going up near him. How much more evasion. He doesn't have nearly as much altitude to work with to gain that speed and keep as much maneuverability. So now he's resigned to only taking out targets. He's basically killing guys on the front here. He wants to come back here and kill these guys, but he kind of can't. Because if he does, he's just too low. He's just too low. So now let's see if we can hit some of these, like that's one of those little convoy destroyers there. Let's see if we can hit one of these guys. See what the accuracy on this thing is. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, we're full stack. And
Thank you very much.
where my shells at? He's starting to sink, it looks like. Somebody may have already done all the damage they needed. That battleship back there is firing at me again. That's the same one that killed me last time. Let's see if we get this light cruiser. See, but at this point, we are 2 ships ahead. So, like, at this point in the game, it's just simply not about kills. It's not about damage. You can kill as many freaking ships as you want. If you're not killing those things, you're not doing anything. It's like being outside the circle cap. You know, you can go and spawn camp outside the circle cap, but if you're not contributing, you're actively working towards your team demise. So that battleship out there, He can see these destroyers behind me, but he's going for players. See, he's trying to farm player kills. Meanwhile, I'm gonna dodge him, and I'm gonna try to repair his damage. I'm gonna try to tank as many of his hits as I possibly can. I'm gonna waste his efficiency. Now, I might be worth more points, but ultimately, winning the game is worth the most points. So I'm gonna try to waste as much of this guy's time as I possibly can while I work on killing even more of his cargo vessels back here. Now, I can't see any of them just yet. I don't want to hit that guy. It's mostly going to be a matter of, I think if I come around this island just a little bit, one of them will pop open. Like that, right there. That's the target. Any one of these things that you could see, and you just want to stay ahead. So we're 6, they're 8, there's 3 minutes left. So they need to kill 2 ships. I'm going to hopefully make it 3. And speaking of, we're actually going to go for that destroyer. Oh no. Well, hopefully that hits. Because I was trying to target that guy. There we go. Right, we got like 20 seconds from the reload. Ah, it's going to be, yeah. Ooh. Hold on, this guy's super damaged. That's that heavy cruiser I was banging on earlier. I think he's starting to repair his flooding. But let's hit the destroyer one quick time real hard on this destroyer. Normally it only takes like one solid shot there. And then once I can target this guy, we'll hit him next. Normally those destroyers, if you just get like one big hit on them, they'll just eventually just succumb to their wounds. A little shy on that. A little shy on that. We're going to have to remove some yardage here. 7 seconds. Looking good. 3. Got about 200 yards down. And 5. Now we can target that heavy cruiser. This guy will be easier to hit. We got 2.5 minutes left. We're ahead by 3 now. Looks like that other battleship gave up on shooting me because I just started sailing right towards them. A little bit of a harder target to hit. That's what you want to see. Now that probably will kill him. If there was enough time left. Alright, we'll hit this heavy cruiser next. And the heavy cruiser is already struggling. The heavy cruiser's struggling hard. He was flooding pretty hard earlier. He's just now getting that under control. There's not much time left in the game, so I just want to kind of sink something. There we go. Admiral Hipper, he's going down. Oh my! Oh. Dude, I got straight up HMS hooded. My ammunition exploded. Dope. All right. There's not much left. Well, let's bring in the York. Might as well just bring in the York. That's the only thing I've got left to spade out on this lineup. And the game is over in 40 seconds, so let's see if we can just get a shot on this battleship or something. I think we did enough. Yeah, there's even one more. And that's why this game mode's stupid as hell. Like, this team was worried about killing us. We were worried about killing their convoy. It's just a silly... It's a silly game mode, not because, like, it doesn't make sense. It's probably the most sensible of all the game modes, but just because of the behavior of the convoy ships is... Oh, hey, we killed the... we killed that Hipper right there at the end. The behavior of the Allied ships just doesn't support. Oh, hold on. I might as well show you guys the rewards real quick for winning. Jack of all trades. Yeah, 32,000 silver lions, 6,600 RP. The Hood, I don't think has a very good modifier for it. Plus, I'm not doing very well in it. It's got 416 RP, 576 silver lions. That game mode, it just doesn't quite. If the most important ships in the game to kill are behaving so passively, there's just no sense of self-preservation from them. And you get these fights where you'll have both teams that realize that the objective is, so they'll just ignore each other. And you'll spawn in and it'll be both teams with battleships just like shelling the enemy cargo vessels and trying to outshell one another. Now, I try not hard not to criticize without having an alternative. And my alternative is that game mode needs to be scrapped, and naval needs to be turned into a single life deathmatch, Air RB style, where there are some like inland beach style objectives like, tanks and howitzers and convoys and pillboxes and such, and put like 200 or 300 of those inland so that a team can, shell those if they want, and then pick three of the largest ships on each team. Everybody gets one life. You get queued up based on your class of ship. So if your team has 5 battleships, the enemy team has 5 battleships. If your team has 4 heavy cruisers, the enemy team has 4 heavy cruisers. It's exactly even. And you try to make those as, as BR matches, like, they got a 6.7 BB, they got a 6.7 BB, they've got a 6.3 BB, they've got a 6.3 BB, and, they've got a 6.7 heavy cruiser and a 6.3 heavy cruiser, same thing over here, right? You make both teams matched in, their class of ship and the amount that they have, and then you pick the 3 heaviest of each team, and you say, those 3 people are the flagships. Now, if all 3 flagships are taken out, you win. Or if all of your inland objectives are destroyed, or if you destroy all the enemy's inland objectives, you win. Basically, kind of like Air RB, but you take the 3 strongest people in Air RB and you make them like flagships, right? And the reason you do that with 3. Obviously you'd only have 1 flagship. You do that with 3 people just to kind of like prevent trolling and, prevent how much power like one person would have. Like if he's the flagship and he just decides to act like an idiot and, show his broadside to the enemy. But basically it becomes like, hey, 2 fleets of similar size and composition have encountered each other in this environment with no strict advantage going to one side or the other. Eliminate the enemy fleet, period. Like, that's it. Like, that's your objective. All the capture points, the, shooting motionless cargo ships to, capturing some 100-meter circle of random ocean out in the middle of nowhere. Like, when my ship is designed to fire over the horizon, why would I go in there? Oh, to capture this. So what purpose does that circle serve? It doesn't do anything. Like, there's no strategic purpose to it, right? Get rid of all those objectives. Capture points are necessary to draw people out, so that they don't camp. Like tanks are inherently campy. The advantages are going to go to the defender. The advantage is going to go to the ambusher. So you need something to draw tanks out of those tree lines and bring them into the open so that they can, have a fight. Otherwise, it just becomes a standoff of who's going to blink first. In naval, we're shooting each other from the moment we spawn in. Like, we can see each other, like, we're already within range. And we don't really need a reason or a place to go to be able to kill each other, because we can do it from anywhere on the map. And if the enemy team wants to get together and all run away, let them. Like, that's a valid strategy. You know what I mean? Like, that is a valid naval tactic. You know what I mean? Let people scatter to the wind if they want. Let them stay together if they want. Let them sail in formation if they want. Let them, cross T's if they want. Let them, and if the enemy team wants to run away and go sit in an obscure corner of the map, okay, cool. We're gonna shell your inland objectives. We're gonna like bombard your beachhead until we win the game. Like, you guys can either come here and face us, or you guys can stay off in that corner and watch us destroy your 200 howitzers or whatever. That I feel like would really help change a lot of the game modes of naval to make them much more fun and approachable. But that's not what this video is supposed to be about. This video is about the HMS Hood. We played the Hood. The Hood's cool. The Hood's cool. I still like the Scharnhorst better. Um, it's just got a lot more options to it. Honestly, the Scharnhorst, just like the reload, the protection, the maneuverability, the torpedoes, the anti-aircraft armament, the camouflage. Let's be real for a second. Look at these camouflages. Scharnhorst is still hands down my my favorite battle ship in the game right now. I am glad that the Hood is out, and I'm looking forward to the Bismarck being here and getting the Prince of Wales as well, so we can actually do some of that, historical recreations. But that's the Hood. So you guys saw 2 matches, both victories, but man, it did not make me feel like a god. That's for sure. Some of those other ships, like the Scharnhorst, the PR-206, the Hyuga, the Sayeta, the Baltimore, a lot of those ships, the Shimakaze, you feel like a god. Like you are like the PR-206. Let's talk about the PR-206 for a second. The PR-206 needs to go to destroyer spawns like immediately, and same thing with the Sayeta. Both of those coastal ships don't have any business being in the shallow waters with, a PT-811 or a freaking G5. That PR-206 just like deletes anything that it wants to in like a microsecond. Those ships make you feel like you're invincible, and they make you feel like you're a lot better at the game than you probably actually are. I have them, and because I have them, and because I play them, I can acknowledge that they are broken. And the way to fix them is just to let them go fight in the shallows, but just spawn them a little further back. You know what I mean? Like those fair miles, those those like crappy little armored Russian ships. Like just give them a moment. Like let them get in and grab a cap without getting 30 millimetered out of the water in a split second. And then let the PR-206 come in and mop up. The PR-206 is still coming. It's just like 2 or 3 minutes behind. And I feel like that would be enough to just sort of like put everything on a nice even keel. That's my opinion on the Sayeta and the PR-206. Like the Sayeta, that thing is the only thing that can really actually stand up to a PR-206. If you are in a PR-206, there's one thing you're afraid of, and it's the Sayeta. And it's the only redeeming quality about the Italian lineups other than the Zara, which is a pretty good heavy cruiser. It's not the best. It's pretty good. Anyway, guys, that's my little naval / Hood review in a nutshell. Thanks for watching. 07, take care, and good hunting.